Well, it's that time of year when college students all over the country are checking their mail, waiting to see if they've been accepted or rejected from the college of their dreams. So just how stressed out are these kids about the whole process? Here with a brand new survey is Princeton Review's Senior Vice President and the author of If the U Fits, expert advice on finding the right college and getting accepted, Rob Franek. Welcome back to the show.
Great to have you here. Thanks for inviting me.
So, lots of worries and concerns over college and the cost, and the economy's not great. What was the single biggest issue? You've conducted this study 11 times.
Yeah. It's a College Hopes and Worries survey, and what we found out from the 11,100 students and parents that took the survey this year is that there's increasing concern around debt. We've talked about that in the past, ballooning debt for both public and private schools, big stress around the SAT, ACT, particularly around the SAT changes that are going to happen soon, and then the biggest stressor is that students will get into their first choice schools, but families won't be able to pay for it.
You know, I find that everywhere I go, people are worried about debt, and we're seeing here 35% worried about the level of debt. They can't afford their first choice, and they won't get into their first choice. All those kinds of concerns coming up. What about this idea that the state of the economy is so poor, too? Because, look, let's face it, once these kids get out of school, they've got to graduate and get a job, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I really like, and one of the things I'm most proud of doing at the Princeton Review, is focusing on schools that do awesome jobs at career services. You know, moving the Career Service Center into the admissions office or adjacent to the admissions office so that they know that in 4 years you're going to exit here. You're going to get great assistantships, experiential learning while you're an undergraduate, but then jobs after you graduate. Schools are doing a very elegant job, some of them.
How do we know which the best ones are? I'm getting you off topic here,
okay.
But that's a big question.
Totally. We've been doing a list at Princeton Review on our website, princetonreview.com, for best career service centers. Number 1 on our list this year, Penn State. Number 2, University of Florida. Both awesome schools, and they do a spectacular job around career services, but then mining alumni to give back to students.
Well, financial aid is another big worry, right? We see how necessary is financial aid. The people you interviewed said extremely or very 89%. Big worries about the money.
Absolutely big worries. And what I love is that we can demystify the financial aid process, knowing that a full 40% of the award packages that students get will come directly from the schools that admit them, based on SAT and ACT scores, high school GPA, combination of those two, academic admission as well as dollars. 50% will come from the government, both federal and state, and then 10% or less will come from outside private scholarships.
You can't just go by the tuition figures, right? Because at the end of the day, that's not how the bill's going to get paid.
You have it exactly.
The bank of mom and dad typically it can't cover that bill, right?
It's so true. And that sticker price, it causes such fear and shock for so many students and families. What we've talked about in the past is there are many schools that bring down that sticker price as something that's palatable, that won't make you or your family mortgage out your future to actually pay for school.
So we've heard what students are worried about. They've got lots of concerns. But what are mom and dad worried about?
They share some similar fears, certainly around debt, but then they are absolutely more concerned around making sure that students get jobs after they graduate. And they're asking those questions right up at the beginning part of the admissions process. Absolutely.
That's good. I hope they're picking majors on the basis of, you know, what I can do for the long term. That would make a lot of sense.
Totally hear you.
Before you go, though, let's have some advice for folks out there, mom and dad and the kids who are struggling with getting the letter in the mail. Maybe they got in, maybe they didn't. What do they do next?
First, if you're waiting for your letters to come in, if you're a high school senior, you should wait for all of your letters to come in before making your decision, because it has to be an admissions decision as well as a financial aid decision.
How long do you wait?
Well, March 15th is usually the date that most schools will be coming out with their letters of admission. So if you applied to 10 schools, you get into 8. You have to look at the admission letters, but you have to consider financial aid in that part of the process and to clear that discussion. For younger kids and parents, be fearless around the process. Financial aid, talk about these things now so that you'll demystify it and sort of take any of the stress out.
Okay. I feel better. I'm breathing now. Rob, you're terrific. Thanks for coming on this show.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.